At exactly 3:00 a.m., when the entire house was silent except for the ticking clock on my wall, I remembered something my friends had dared me to try earlier that night. The Charlie Charlie game, the one people online kept saying you should never play alone. I laughed it off at first, but curiosity kept scratching the back of my mind. So I grabbed a blank paper, drew the 4 boxes, wrote yes and a no, and carefully balanced 2 pencils on top of each other, just like the videos showed. My room felt strangely colder as I whispered the words, "Charlie, Charlie, are you here?" For a few seconds, nothing happened, and I almost laughed at how stupid I felt. But then the top pencil slowly began to move, turning toward yes. I froze. My heart started beating faster as I looked around the room, thinking maybe the fan caused it, but the fan was off and the windows were closed. My mouth felt dry, but I forced myself to ask another question. "Charlie, can you see me?" The pencil didn't move at first, then suddenly it rotated again. Yes. A chill ran down my spine because at that exact moment, I heard something from the hallway outside my room. A faint footstep, slow and heavy, like someone walking barefoot on the floor. I knew everyone in my house was asleep. I stared at my bedroom door, tried to convince myself it was just my imagination, but then the footsteps stopped right outside my door, and the handle slowly began to shake, very gently at first, as if someone or something was trying to come inside. My heart started pounding so loudly I was sure whatever was outside my door could hear it. And the moment the handle stopped shaking, the room fell into a silence, so heavy it felt wrong, like the air itself was holding its breath. I slowly looked back at the paper on my desk, and the pencils had moved again on their own, now pointing to yes, even though I hadn't asked anything. My throat felt tight, but I forced the words out anyway, whispering, "Charlie, is it you outside my door?" The pencil stayed still for a moment, then slowly turned toward an O. A cold wave rushed through my body, because if it wasn't Charlie, then what was standing outside my room? Before I could even process that thought, something suddenly knocked on my door. 3 slow taps, knock, knock, knock. My entire body froze. Everyone in my house always knocked loudly, but this sounded careful, almost like something tried to pretend to be human. I didn't move, I didn't breathe, I just stared at the door while my hands trembled on the desk. Then the pencils moved again without me touching them, spinning slowly until they pointed to yes. And right after that, a quiet whisper came from the other side of the door, so soft I almost thought I imagined it. But I heard it clearly, a small voice right outside my room saying my name. "Open the door." And that was the moment I realized something terrifying. The voice sounded exactly like me. My entire body went numb the moment I heard my own voice from the other side of the door, repeating softly, "Open the door." And the more I listened, the more wrong it sounded, like someone trying to copy me, but not getting it completely right. My eyes slowly moved back to the paper on the desk, hoping the pencils would tell me what was happening. But before I could even ask another question, the top pencil suddenly spun violently and stopped pointing at an O. The door handle then twisted hard like someone was actually trying to force it open, and the whisper outside turned into a quiet laugh that sounded twisted and broken. Panic rushed through me, and I grabbed the pencils off the paper, remembering something I once heard online, that you're supposed to say goodbye to end the game. So with shaking hands, I quickly whispered, "Charlie, Charlie, but done goodbye." For a second, nothing happened, but then the footsteps outside my door suddenly stopped. The house became completely silent again. I waited there for almost a minute, too scared to move, until finally I forced myself to stand up and slowly open the door. The hallway was empty, dark and quiet like nothing had ever been there. I thought maybe it was all just my imagination until I turned back toward my desk and felt my stomach drop. The paper I had drawn earlier was still there, but the words had changed. The 4 boxes no longer said yes and a no. Instead, written in messy handwriting that definitely wasn't mine, the boxes now said only one thing: "You let me in."